Hi, everybody. So yesterday we looked at what was called the Quartering Act. And the Quartering Act was something that really upset a lot of colonists, and I can completely understand that. They were basically forced to house British soldiers, and they had to provide them with a room to sleep in, they had to provide them with food, basically whatever they needed, and they couldn't really say no. So we're going to look at some more taxes that are coming into play for the colonists and how this is going to just continue to upset them even more. So I'm going to start here on this page where it says new taxes. In 1764, Britain created a new tax with a law called the Sugar Act. This act taxed not only sugar, but many other imported goods such as coffee and cloth. Some merchants avoided paying the tax by smuggling, which means to import goods illegally. Merchants secretly brought the goods into the colony so British officials could not tax them. So in this first part here, what we're looking at is really any of those goods that they wanted. It didn't have to be just sugar. It could be a lot of different things. The British was going to tax them, so they'd have to pay additional money on top of the goods that they were purchasing. Well, here's where it gets even worse. In 1765, Parliament created another tax called the Stamp Act. This act taxed anything printed on paper. So imagine that. Anything you print, it is going to be taxed. So up here, there's a little graphic for you to look at. It says the Stamp Act put a tax on almost everything that was printed. To buy newspapers, calendars, and even playing cards, colonists had to pay for a tax stamp. So this kind of shows you what that would look like. Colonists were upset by the new taxes because they could not take part in passing tax laws. Many believed that their local elected representatives, not Parliament, should pass tax laws for the colonies. American colonists had no representatives in the British Parliament, but did have representatives in their local governments. Patrick Henry, a member of Virginia's House of Burgesses, made an angry speech against the Stamp Act. He said Britain was using its power unfairly. People all over the colonies heard about his speech, and many agreed with him. Across the colonies, groups formed and called themselves the Sons of Liberty. Liberty means freedom from being controlled by another government. Samuel Adams was an important leader of the Sons of Liberty in Boston. Adams and the Sons of Liberty organized protests against the Stamp Act. A protest is an event at which people complain about an issue. Sometimes the Sons of Liberty and other groups used violence to resist the Stamp Act. Colonists wrecked the homes of a few British officials and beat up tax collectors. So you can see up here, you have colonists holding protests to show how much they hated the Stamp Act. So a lot of these different taxes just made the colonists even more and more angry. So I'm going to show you one more page that goes with this. Give me 1 second. Go back here. And in here, we can look at, get to our, oh, there we go, our Stamp Act. Oops, wait, I think I opened the wrong, I went too far. Let's see here, guys, sorry. I don't know why I'm opening the wrong thing for us here. Thought I opened the right one. Here we go. Okay, so when we look at the Stamp Act, just one more thing for us to look at here. Talked about our different Quartering Act and Stamp Act of 1765. It says King George III and Parliament agreed that the colonists would pay taxes on all printed material to help pay for the French and Indian War. Colonists were angry. Since they had a self-government, they thought Parliament had no right to tax them. So here it says, this is the place to affix the stamp for that Stamp Act. All right. So again, I'm going to give you an assignment to go along with this on Edpuzzle, just to kind of reinforce what we're learning about these different taxes and different things leading us up to the Revolutionary War.